Hello and welcome to Sovereign RPG. I am Sovereign, and today we're just going to be going over some stuff with regards to the insurance system and how it can be done better. I've spent the last 24 hours since the actual release of the insurance system talking to the guys in the Eve Echoes Discord and as many people as possible to be able to get their sort of take on how the insurance system will be, what it's like now, how it's going to break some stuff, etc. Now, this video will be more of a podcasty type thing. I'm not going to be having anything in the background. I'm not going to have videos and stuff. It's just going to have an image there so people aren't just staring at a blank image on the screen. There will be something there for you, but you can just put your headphones on, stick your phone in your pocket, put your headphones on the computer and just sit back and relax. This is just a sort of talky point. I'm not going to be throwing up anything on the screen. So the general sentiment of what most players, especially the industry players, believe is this will kill industry. Now, I don't think it's as far-fetched as that. I don't think it's going to kill industry out as a whole. It will certainly limit industry. There are some arguments for the fact that alliances no longer have to run SRPs. They can just give ISK out, etc. to be able to buy the Plex, to be able to insure stuff. Although it's a hell of a lot harder when you have things like the limit on gift contracts and the actual wait time on corp wallets, etc. Only having one corp wallet. There's a myriad of issues when it comes to the SRP systems within alliances and corps, but that is a different argument for a different day. I don't think it's going to be as bad as a lot of people, a lot of the doomsayers in the Discords and on the forums and on Reddit are saying. But I would just like to start by saying that I don't agree with the way that they've done the insurance system. I don't agree with the actual insurance system itself. There is a better way of doing it, which I will describe later on in the video, but we're talking about the industry players and how they believe it's killing industry. They're saying that people won't be buying ships from them anymore because of the amount of, because you can just reimburse a ship at any time for a hell of a lot cheaper than you're currently making them. So it could go a few different ways. The market could drop in price for ships, making them a lot cheaper, which in turn will help a lot of newer players get into ships that they couldn't normally get into, because as you know, even as an industry players who are making money, you know that all the ships right now, the minerals, the ores, and everything are all massively overinflated. They're massively expensive for what they used to be. Even when they first came out, they were not as expensive as they are now. Faction cruisers costing 600 million to buy. Faction battleships costing 6 billion to buy. The only one that held that price was the Macarial because no one wants to use them anymore. But you're looking at 16 bill for rattlesnakes. You're looking at 12 bill for Balgorns, etc., etc. Like, the prices are so massively high. And that brings another issue with the insurance system itself, especially with faction battleships. It allows you to sort of get a faction battleship for a lot different price than what it would actually be if more were being sold on the market. Because the battleships are so low and there's not many being sold all over the place, the actual insurance mechanic cannot really figure out what the actual price should be, so it's a lot different than it should be. Now, getting back to the industry and how industry players believe that it's going to be really bad for them, especially if it carries on going the way that it is. They believe that people won't buy ships off them because they can just reimburse. There are arguments that agree with this and there are arguments that disagree with this. The disagreeing arguments would be that industrial players will still be needing to build ships for people, especially for CTAs, etc., etc. People need to stockpile up on ships. In PvP, there is a 12-hour lockout. That's just not a 12-hour lockout just for that one ship. That 12-hour lockout is a lockout for every ship you reimburse within those 12 hours. So if you have 10 ships and you kill one, you reimburse that one, you get in that one again, you use that one, it dies, you get in the next one, you use it, it dies. You cannot use those other ships other than the ones you stockpiled for longer than 12 hours. So people are still going to need to stockpile these SRP ships. It's still going to be needed for industry to be able to build these ships for the players of their alliance or corporations or whatever it is you're in, a coalition, etc. Now, I'm not saying this is like, oh, you can't complain because there are options. The buyback system itself is putting ships up for more than you would make for selling them directly to players. Well, again, this is not the best way to do it because they have these ships literally all over nullsec where the ships are actually dying the most. And especially if you're not in one of those alliances or corporations or coalitions, you can't just fly your prophecy, for example, to nullsec ITC because it's being covered by an alliance. You just get blown up on the way there. It just makes no sense. it doesn't help. It's sort of a way to fix that, if they wanted to continue to go this route, would just be to have in high sec and low sec ITCs, maybe the region of high sec and low sec, the main hubs of those regions, they would go, all the kills would go to that one, so it makes it a lot easier for the players in high sec to be able to sort it out, the players in low sec to be able to use it. Solo players, smaller corporations that aren't part of the massive alliances can actually help with the industry in that aspect. And another argument against the fact that industry is being killed, there are people saying that you can actually, and I kind of agree with this, you can actually, every player does not have every single ship in the game. They do not have these ships fitted and ready in their hangars, ready for whenever they want to use every single ship in the game. There will still be people needing to buy new ships all the time. There are players coming in, need to upgrade to the next ship. You can't exactly replace a shitty ship and then upgrade it by replacing it that way. People still need to buy ships. People will still need to buy these ships. And they'll have a lot more ISK because of the insurance system helping them along the way to not have to reimburse the ship every single time, that they will actually spend and be willing to spend more ISK for the industry players. There's also the case that ships will be nerfed and buffed at any time. So if a ship is nerfed into the ground because everyone's using a certain kind of ship in their CTAs, everyone's using it for SRP because those ships are very good in large numbers and very cost effective. Now I know industry players, they don't make massive amounts of money selling SRP ships to their corporations, and they will still be selling better ships to their corp mates, just not the ones that the person's using at that time. There will still be selling and making of industry ships. I think it's even going to be a lot better in nullsec for those alliance players than it would be in high sec and low sec. You have more minerals, you have better PI, you can do all of that stuff in nullsec and keep it all there in one place. Unlike high sec, which has lower levels of minerals, has shitty PI, etc, etc. All these ways that you can actually still make money, they're still relevant. Industry players are still relevant. Now, as I said, I don't agree with the way the insurance system is being done. I'm just trying to help you guys to understand that it's not the end of the world. The Evecho's Discord, the Reddit has been a cascade of doomsayers saying the world is over, industry is dead, it's killed everything. They're all just basically sheeping and replying and copy pasting the same remark from each other, and they just believe it from the get-go because someone on Reddit that has 18,000 points said something that actually makes not complete sense. But I do agree that the industry will be a lot slower than it was, and it was already kind of at a crawling pace anyway. Industry doesn't have a high margin for profit, especially when it comes to ships, especially since you can't sell those ships in high sec because you have to move them up and down from low sec one at a time because there's no haulers that can hold a vast amount of minerals or ore or ships. So you still need to do a lot of the work. And most of the actual profit you would make from making ships is doing the ore buyback systems in nullsec, doing all that stuff. The alliances then build the ships and sell them in JITA for more money than what it would actually cost to buy the minerals. Because a lot of alliances, corps and coalitions, they do 80% JITA price. There's no way alliances are buying 100% JITA price. They probably are, but they're not doing it right. It should cost less because you're in a safer environment with a lot of people that are there to defend you. You get a lot more minerals, and you don't have to pay for the travel time. But the issue with that is there are no large haulers. Now the haulers are coming, the freighters are coming with the 1 million M3, etc. They are coming, but they're not here yet. If they were here now and people were able to move from nullsec to high sec, all of their minerals, all of their ore, ships would lower in price because there's more ore and minerals in high sec to lower that price as well. You can make shitloads of PI in nullsec and bring it all floating back into high sec. That is something the devs need to get on really quickly. They need to be able to fix this hauling system because the hauling system right now is complete and utter dog shit. It is so bad. They need to really either buff the haulers that we currently have by a significant amount to make it viable to be able to move stuff from nullsec to high sec, or they just need to get these haulers done ASAP and get them in the game as quickly as possible. So now we move on to the PvE's stance on the insurance system. Now, obviously, a lot of them are going to be very happy they don't have to replace their ships at full cost. It's 30%. But there are a lot of complaints that the PvEers are not going to be able to make as much money because modules will be reimbursed, etc, etc. Now, let me give you a little bit of information that is 100% not the case. Not all of the modules are dropped. Not all of the modules are replaced. Now, in PvE and HighSec, for example, you could, in theory, go get your ship blown up by accident, go get it reimbursed, and then fly back to that same anomaly and pick up the stuff that you didn't get, and you will be 100% back in the green. But in PvP, that is not the case. those modules will be picked up or blown up if the people can't pick them up. So there will still be a need for modules on the market, especially if there's it might cause some of the modules to lower in price because there'll be more on the market because not many people are needing to buy them. So it's not costing you 200 million for one single module. And it will actually lower some of it because regardless of what anyone thinks, the actual market prices, even the ones created by the computer that everyone's complaining about because of the buyback numbers are not the same as the sell numbers or buyback orders, etc., all of these prices that these computer prices are generated from are prices that we have made as a community on the market. We made those prices. We overpriced the living shit out of everything. Now, there are causes for the higher prices. As I said before, the ores and minerals not being able to be dragged from null sec to high sec in a reasonable amount. That could fix a lot of the problems. But we are still the reason why those ships are so expensive. If we sold the minerals and the PI for a little bit less and people can make a little bit more, even the people that are selling the ships in nullsec are doing it off of JITA prices that they shouldn't be, because those ships should be far cheaper because the amount of minerals and the PI that you get to be able to create these ships is so much higher. Such a small amount of time to do compared to if you were trying to do that stuff in high sec or low sec or buying it in by making money from ratting and then buying their minerals and the PI in, but that's neither here nor there. The main issue with the PvE guys, and for everyone in general, for the indie, the PvE, the PvPers, are that the rigs are being completely replaced 100% of the time. You're getting those rigs back. Now, rigs, of course, as everyone knows, are super massively inflated, and again, that's the players' fault for putting the prices up so bloody high. The reason why rigs cost more than the entire ship and modules combined just to fit the 6 rigs on there. But those rigs are being 100% replaced at all times. You never have to get those rigs back or buy them back ever again. If there was a mechanic in place that the rigs would be destroyed, then that would be that there was a chance that the rigs won't all come back. You'll receive some of the rigs back. So I don't know how they would do that because it's impossible because you can't drop rigs when you kill them, but maybe they could add the mechanic where rigs do actually drop as well. I don't know. With the rigs, it's a bit of a nightmare. I don't think they should be reimbursed 100% of the time because it's going to screw some stuff up. But again, that will drop the prices for everyone else who hasn't already got these rigs. The guys that are upgrading from their 1s to 2s to 3s because no one really wants to buy tier 3 rigs because of how feckin' expensive they are. So there could be some sort of give and take when it comes to the insurance system on the market values of stuff. Maybe that was their intention in the first place. Maybe not. Maybe I just have no idea what they're thinking. Maybe it was a cash grab. Maybe they're trying to milk the last of the community that is left here. Maybe that's the case. I can't say it's not. The PvPers are happy as bloody Larry that they're getting all their shit back, like every single time. PvPers couldn't be happier right now. But that was the main reason why they added this insurance system in the first place. They wanted more PvP. They wanted it to be more forgiving when a PvP player lost his ship, which is perfectly fine, but it's at the detriment of other sort of parts of the game, so it's not as good. What they really should have done, and this is what I think they should do when they do the update of the insurance system later on, just get rid of the fact that they're reimbursing ships from thin air and modules and rigs. Don't do that. Add a system in place that involves you paying in ISK or Plex. I don't really care if you want it to be paid in Plex. Plex is fine. It's not going to take all the amounts of money in the world to do that sort of thing. And you can still get that Plex from making ISK in the game, it won't be an issue. But you should pay maybe 30%, 40% of the entire cost of the ship in insurance, and then get that market value back in ISK. They could do it that way. They could do it with 100% getting the ISK back. At least then the players will be putting ISK back into the market itself. They'll be buying from industry players. You won't have industries screaming bloody murder all over the place, because they're not going to be able to play the game anymore. It'll kickstart the market. There are some people that want sort of, if you pay 30% in, you'll get 70, 75, 80% out, the same way sort of the EVE Online does it. It's not quite the same, but you have different brackets. You have your bronze, your silver, and your gold. The more you put in for the insurance, the more money you get out of the entire thing at the end. I don't even care if they give you 100% of the ISK back, because that will still stop the industry guys from leaving a puddle of water on the floor at the moment. But it will alleviate a lot from all different aspects of it. You'll still need to buy the rigs back from the market. You'll still need to buy the modules back from the market. There'll be nothing brought out of thin air. Everything will be standardized. I think just making the actual payback in ISK only, or Plex. If they want to do it that way, you pay Plex in, you get Plex out. You get the amount of Plex that's needed. It's just easier to do it with ISK. I don't know why they didn't think of that in the first place. Just pay your Plex for your insurance points, get the thing insured, and get the entire amount of ISK back. It doesn't even bother me if you did that entire thing. Maybe that's something for the devs to think about during the actual balancing of the insurance system in April that they said it will be coming, the insurance version 2. I hope that they do try to fix that, because even though I'm like industry players, you still have stuff to do, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. There is a problem. There is an issue. But there's always been an issue because the devs have never really cared about the industry side of the game. They've said back in before launch that mining and industry is not as big of a deal as PvE and PvP because they believe that it's such a small amount of people that it doesn't matter. And because of that, but that's mainly because of the fact that a lot of people have alts that do industry for their mains. So they feel that it doesn't really matter as much. When they should, because there's still an aspect of the game, even though they're the minority of the game, actual indie players are not someone who runs an indie alt. Actual players in the game that just do industry. But we'll have to see what they do. I'm hoping that they do listen to a lot of the people and do fix a lot of the things that have been an issue. I think what most people are having the massive issues about is the fact that you get everything back. And it's granted from thin air. The buyback system doesn't work as well as it should do because it's being spawned out in the middle of nullsec and all over the place that a lot of the industry players can't fulfill, especially when you're at war with other alliances that you need to run and chase and try to get the actual buyback before someone else gets there and does it, because at the moment there's not that many. And with the dwindling population of the game, it's kind of going to the point where not as many people are dying. People are actually learning how to play the game properly. Alliances are defending their territories better, etc. So the buyback actual put onto the system, they could have just done the ISK in the beginning. If they did the ISK in the beginning, they wouldn't have had to create this buyback system. This insurance system could have been there months ago from the beginning, where it was just pay in with Plex or ISK, pay in with Plex. Just pay in with Plex by itself and then get ISK returned. It would have jump-started everything. Everyone wouldn't have been worried about losing stuff. They wouldn't have lost a massive population of people because people were getting pissed off, especially the casual guys. The casual guys were getting really pissed off, so they couldn't actually keep up with a lot of players because they couldn't make the ISK quick enough. They didn't have enough time to make the ISK. They got a really fancy ship and they got blown the shit up, and then it just quit the game. They had a really basic insurance thing in place. They made it very difficult for themselves. But anyway, that's going to be this sort of video over with. I'm hoping I don't have to put up any more insurance videos because it's been 3 already. I don't think I need to put up any more. Everyone knows what stance the industry players are in, the PvE and the PvP players are in. I've given my advice on how it should be implemented, and they should just scrap this whole idea that they've got right now, because I think it's going to be bad for the game itself. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank all my Patreons for supporting the channel. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do as much content as I'm doing now, which is almost every day. I missed yesterday because I spent the day with the kids, and it was one of the days where I didn't have to actually do my full-time job, so I was able to go and spend the day with the kids. If you would like to support the channel, we do have a Patreon down in the description. There is also a PayPal on there if you'd like to help out at all. Remember to like and sub if you haven't already. This is your one-stop shop for EVECO's content. Fly safe and avoid local chat scams.